Now before this video begins, I want to start by saying I don't usually make videos on leaks or rumours, mainly because they have a chance of changing at the last second, and some turn out to be completely wrong in general. So I like to stay away from that kind of stuff before LEGO officially announces anything. This video is mainly just to talk about what potentially could be coming, and my disagreements with it, and taking this opportunity to start a conversation with you guys, the fans, and why LEGO shouldn't make these types of decisions on very expensive sets. Now of course I'm talking about the Hulkbuster that's rumoured to come out this November. The original price was rumoured to be $350, but since then we have found out the Black Panther mask took the $350 spot, so it means it's likely that this Hulkbuster is taking the $550 spot instead of the $350 mark. Now a lot of people were already disappointed at the fact that there was a potential £350 Hulkbuster, and quite frankly feels like LEGO are taking the piss when all they seem to do lately is release random mech sets. Now I said this in my last video talking about why the Marvel theme sucks, and briefly touched on mechs, and said I don't particularly mind that they release them in such frequent quantities, and would be saying the same in this case if that hefty price tag wasn't on the table, but therein lies the issue. But let's start at the beginning. 2022 hasn't really been Marvel's year, and I'm not just talking about LEGO. The MCU hasn't really had a lot going on since the end of Endgame, and although we're building up to our next new phase, it just felt like Phase 4 has just basically been introducing characters, whether that be through the existing film network or the brand new Disney Plus shows. And although there are a few exceptions to Phase 4 which I absolutely love, I really hope Phase 5 really does get the storyline back on track. But obviously this is carried over into LEGO as well. But as we've only had 3 Marvel films and LEGO seem to only make sets based on the films, it means we've only had 3 potential films where we could get sets from. That being Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'd count No Way Home, but thanks to Mini Superheroes Today's interview, we found out that they got given virtually nothing for No Way Home, to the point where designers were just making up stuff to go in the set.
It was very similar to Endgame, where they gave us almost nothing. Because this has so many secrets in it, they don't even want a whisper of it to leak out.
I suggest you listen to the whole interview, but my point was they got given nothing for No Way Home, so I'm not going to count it. But it does mean everything else has been inspired from previous Marvel films that have come out in the past, things like the Thor's Hammer, the Infinity Gauntlet, Groot, stuff like that. And although those sets are quite nice in my opinion, they're nothing to jump for joy about. And although I do think that is the type of direction that I think LEGO should go forth with the Marvel theme, when it comes to these expensive sets, I really don't think it should go in that direction. Now don't get me wrong, the Marvel theme has been in a good spot now for a couple of years. They've released what I would count as perfect sets, things like the Bugle, the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, and at least the building half of the Sanctum Sanctorum. It really goes to show that LEGO can really strike gold when it comes to these Marvel sets. But then you do look at the uglier side of the coin where you have things like the Armory, all of the Black Panther 2 sets, and some people even hate the direction where they're going in the things like the Gauntlets. This massively wide cast net just solidifies the fact that I don't think LEGO really know what they're doing with the Marvel theme. And although a few really good sets do creep through, the future for expensive Marvel sets is unfortunately looking very bleak. You can check out my previous video if you want to see more on that sort of idea I proposed in that video. But long story short, I basically said that I don't think LEGO really know what they're doing with the Marvel audience, mainly the Infinity Saga side of things, as typically those films are marketed towards teens and adults, but these sets having 4+ slapped on their box give me some weird vibes. Now of course there's the 18+ side of things as well, which primarily I think is pretty good. You have things like the Gauntlets, which I think any Marvel fan would like to have and put on display, and stuff like the Thor's Hammer is also great, but then you stretch into the ridiculous territory when you look at something like the new Black Panther mask and realize it's $350. Now I don't necessarily think the price is the issue, I think it's the concept. Now a mask collection isn't a bad idea, and I think this is a fantastic memorial to someone like Chadwick Boseman, but I really don't think Black Panther was the type of character to begin this series off with. To get a real gauge of the market on how this set is going to do, you should do your most popular character, and I'd argue someone like Spider-Man, Iron Man, or hell, even someone like the Green Goblin from Sam Raimi Spider-Man would do better than this Black Panther mask did. I also think they'd be significantly more interesting to build with brighter colours, and stuff like the web patterning on something like Spider-Man or the arc reactor, mini build within the set could take something like this to the next level. Something I just don't believe the gloves to do on something like this Black Panther set. And then if that set sells well and you get some more other popular characters under your belt, you can start doing more characters like Black Panther. And people already understand that that level of quality takes a £300 price mark. And don't get me wrong, I think the Black Panther mask does look nice, and I'm actually one of the people who like it a lot more than others, but I still have to agree with a lot of people and say there's nothing that this set can do that a £60 version of it can't. And even with the new film film coming out right around the corner, I don't believe this set to be the one to kick off this sub-theme. I mean, imagine if you had taken this concept and done it with someone like Iron Man, a much more popular character. I still think people would have been a little bit angry at the price, but if you had done this correctly and had like a buildable arc reactor and done a suit like the Mark III, I think this would have been significantly more popular and perhaps would have had people going out to buy it day one. I know I certainly would have. And that leads me on to the new set that's coming, a $500 set that is based around Iron Man, which most people would consider a good thing, as like I said 2 seconds ago, Iron Man is one of the most popular characters from Marvel. Once again, we have a problem with the concept. The main problem with this set is that it's based on the Hulkbuster suit, which like I said before, a lot of people have problems with because Marvel just seem to release a lot of mechs. And although we haven't seen the set yet, people are getting extremely concerned because they don't want to be spending $500 on a mech when there are so many other things that warrant that price tag that would be a lot more justifiable. Things like an Avengers Tower or campus, or even the Statue of Liberty from No Way Home. All ideas presented by myself and other YouTubers. Now, although these plans may be in the works, it's fairly disappointing to find out that this year's $500 Marvel set just so happens to be something that people have been asking for Marvel to stop making. When especially because now the rumor is saying that it's going to be a Mark I version of the Hulkbuster instead of the Mark II from Endgame. Granted, again, take this with a pinch of salt, as it's still under that leaks and rumors territory I don't like talking about, but as it's now the Mark I, that kind of loses some more originality, as we've already had a Mark I before in a UCS type style. Granted, I hate that model, and Ransom Fern has definitely upgraded that very model to look, in my opinion, way better than the original set. Building the same model for $500 just doesn't seem justifiable when you have to drop $500 on it. Now, don't get me wrong, this model might be amazing and I might be completely wrong here, but again, I don't think this is the correct direction for Marvel to go in, and it seems confusing, as there's so many models out there which I think could warrant that kind of a price tag. And I commend to you guys to write in the comment section below what you think about not only the Hulkbuster set that's rumored to come out, but also the Black Panther mask, as I truly do believe if you would release that as a £60 set as the nice nod to Black Panther 2 and a nice tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and began this new large bust line with somebody like Iron Man, I do think it would have significantly improved the sales and desirability of the set. And as for the Hulkbuster, why are we doing this? Now, I get we haven't seen the model, but seriously, if it's not the best thing since sliced bread, I'm really going to question why you release a set and re-release that set at double the price tag, especially a set which I don't even think is desired at all. One thing I will say is that if we can put the Iron Man buildable figure inside this Hulkbuster, considering it is now the Mark I, then I do think it will significantly make the set cooler. And as I've heard, this $500 set is meant to be massive, there is a possibility that this set could look incredibly cool, but I just don't feel like the mass majority of people are going to want to spend £500 on a Hulkbuster suit, and should really consider doing what we were speaking about in my previous video, making sets based on location and characters, and make more sets tailored like the Daily Bugle. The Avengers Tower is an obvious choice, and 100% would have said that that set should have come before a UCS style Hulkbuster that we've already had before. Like I say, what do you guys think of the Black Panther mask and this new Hulkbuster set? This is the exact type of video to let your opinions known, so leave a comment below. And although LEGO might have justification for making these larger, weirder sets, I just have a feeling that the community that they're for is just not here. Let me know, and if you want to hear more reasons why the Marvel theme currently sucks, click the screen now. Thanks for watching, see you in a bit.